And I want to challenge you. These are just a few things to think about as you're doing this talent map. Your academic background. Is there a need that you have in your organization that someone has an academic interest in? Okay? That's one thing I want you to think about. Skills. All of you have numerous skills that if I asked you to, in a half hour, come up with 50 things, I bet you could do it. If you think about academics that you've taken in the past, if you think about previous jobs you've had, volunteer opportunities, causes you've been a part of, extracurriculars, sports, music, whatever the case might be. But think about skills you learned in that. Okay? Interest. Maybe it's not something you've got even a level of competency yet, but there's some things of interest that you really want to work on. Okay? Something you may learn through this exercise, and I've learned this already at the rec center, and I've tried to do it throughout the time I've been working with students, is find something they're good at and not only utilize that, but also learn that and put that in my toolbox. Okay? The other thing this talent map can do is talk about your access to resources and connections. We all need resources and connections, correct? Was the connection opportunity one of the reasons many of you chose to be in a fraternity? Okay. That's the reason most people join a group of some sort. Is part of that is to get those connections, get those networking opportunities. Think about the people in your lives that you know intimately. Maybe there's something this fraternity needs that by having a discussion about it, someone says, "Oh, my dad does that for a living," or "My dad knows someone that does that for a living," or "My mom knows someone," or "My mom does that," "My grandparent," "My uncle," "My aunt." Whatever the case might be, having an understanding of people's networks can really help you with this talent map. Okay? So I want you to think about, I would challenge you as an organization to develop this talent map. Is it going to take some time? Absolutely. But if you can develop this talent map to where maybe it's in a 3-ring binder of just these kind of things, you've got the ability to go through and do that. I think all of you plan to have jobs after you graduate or seek entrepreneurship opportunities. Is that true? Okay. You may find the answer or a connection in doing this talent map. Because the reality is, you probably won't know all these answers about every single person by just going around and talking to them. Okay? But if you can lay it out on paper and develop this, what a great thing. You can also be on the lookout for someone. And I would challenge another thing about I would add aspirations. Make that a part of it. Again, Eric may want to do something with his life. By him putting this down on paper, what a worthy goal, right? You want to do something. By Eric wanting to do that, I know you look at him right now and you think he's going to be a bodybuilder. Because I've seen him in the... he's a little sawed-off guy, right? Just like me. I can say that because I'm short like he is. But Eric can military press a car. I've seen him in the fitness center. I mean, he could press a car over his head if he wants to. All right? So maybe Eric wants to be a bodybuilder. Maybe one of you know someone that does that. Okay? The only way you're going to know that is by having the conversation, both verbally and putting it on paper. Okay? So I would challenge you to do this. I think this is a tremendous way you can serve each other. So talent mapping. The second thing I want to talk about is scoreboard leadership. I've started doing this within the last 6 months, and it's been tremendously beneficial. Okay, you look at that and say, "What the hell is that?" Okay, scoreboard leadership is the following. To me, integrity, a lot of what integrity is doing something when you said you would do it and the way you said you would do it. To me, that's a piece of integrity. Okay. Scoreboard leadership is telling people the progress and where you're at with that initiative. Okay. So, for example, Angus is going to create a talent map for 5 people by the end of the month. 5 talent map by September. What it simply is Angus posting it somewhere in your fraternity house or online or however you guys communicate to keep you posted about that. Okay? Because you know what a common complaint is about leadership from the people following? I have no idea about the status of that. Have you ever wondered that from people in leadership positions? Well, I know we talked about that, and I know we said we were going to do it, but I have no idea where it's at. So I see a lot of nods. So you've all had that experience. Okay. This not only helps the leader keep track of what they promise, but it helps the followers. If we had a talk right now about, and we all agreed that Angus doing this for 5 people was of critical importance to this organization, would this tool be of value to you? By seeing Angus's progress on it, does it increase Angus's credibility as a leader? By not seeing any progress from Angus, does it reduce his credibility as a leader? And then you have the accountability piece come in. You need to have people holding each other accountable. Angus, what's going on with this? The best leaders can use a tool like this to check in with people and see what's going on. Angus, I haven't seen any progress. Is there anything I can do to help you with that? Are there any tools? Are there any resources? Well, so-and-so doesn't want to meet with me. Okay, we need to make that happen. Okay, it reduces excuses, it reduces complaining, and it increases communication. So talent mapping and scoreboard leadership. Okay, I think those are things that are very important. Okay, because the reality is, how many of you see every single person in this room at least once every single day? You do? You see every person in this room at least once?
No, I thought you meant you see like certain people.
Okay. You see certain people, right? But you don't see everybody. Okay? It's impossible. This might be the only time you've seen everybody this month. Okay? Except for that party Friday night. Okay? But the point is, you have to think of ways. You have to think about ways to communicate. Okay? All right? So, I asked this question of Angus to give a practical example. And hopefully it'll be of some value with you because I'm going to share one more tool with you. Okay? I want you guys to, I call it popcorning out. Okay? So we're just going to pop some ideas here in the next minute. I want to challenge you guys. We're going to do it right now. I want us as an organization to think about 10 things in the next 10 things in the next month that we need to do as an organization to move forward. Let's hear them. Summarize it in 5 words or less. Talent map. All right, brownie points. Okay. All right.
Get a high pie.
I'm sorry?
A high pie. It's a position. Yeah. Like the Greek letter.
Okay. I don't know the Greek letter. Okay. All right.
Watermelon bust or ball philanthropy?
I'm sorry?
Watermelon bust?
I saw that on your event calendar. How can I word that? Watermelon what? All right. What else? Okay. What else?
Increase attendance at events.
Okay. Increase attendance. Okay, what else?
Secure a house for next year.
You don't have a house for next year?
Yeah, it's a long story. We're renting.
Whenever I hear a statement, it's a long story, it really is. It's got a lot of layers in the onion, isn't it? The more you peel off, the more you find. No question. All right, what else?
Communicate better.
Okay.
Better accountable.
Okay. What else? Are we good with 8? Is that enough to work on right now? Okay. All right. So let's narrow it down to 2. Because it's pretty ambitious. Not that you can't start on all these. But what are 2 that need immediate attention on here?
Securing the house.
Okay. Okay. Is that? This is where feedback and dialogue is really important. Okay. What else?
I'd say watermelon bed and high pie are like 2 priorities. Or like getting a high pie is definitely really high up there because we need more.
Okay. Okay.
I think we should increase attendance at events.
Okay.
I would say communicate more because these can all be resolved through more communication.
Okay.
I was going to say communicate more and accountability.
Okay. All right. So I saw a lot of nod heads and 2 people said the same thing. So can we, as an example, say communication is one that needs to be tackled right now? Okay. All right. I have got the greatest tool for you to do this that you can ever imagine. Well, it's one of the greatest because you've learned 3 tonight. You've learned 1, you've learned 2, and then you've learned 3. Okay. Okay. It sounds simple, but it's actually an acronym. It can never be that easy, right? It's a long story. So, the P stands for purpose. So we're going to think about it in a moment. What's the purpose of trying to make communication better?